Well, welcome back, everyone, to Sheltered Sages, the show where two formerly sheltered homeschoolers, now adults, talk about the complexities of life one crazy Reddit story at a time. My name is Andrew.
And I am Philip.
And we are back and in a completely new location. I don't know if you guys can, for those who are watching online, so whether you're watching on YouTube or if you are watching through the Spotify videos that I have seen Philip upload, you can see that we are not in our old recording space. We're not in that cramped little table in my office with all of my accoutrement on the back table with all the stuff. Philip has taken his, and they moved into a new house.
It's a new place. It's very nice. It's very comfortable.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he took his office and said, hey, we're going to make it the recording studio.
Yep.
So we have a recording studio that looked really official. I walked in and I was just like, it's so nice. This is awesome. So I apologize in advance because recording this episode, this intro is the second time I've recorded this intro.
Yes,
so
it is.
It's
my fault. I will say it's my fault. We were supposed to be recording audio, and it wasn't recording any audio at all. I was trying to stop it from feeding back into the headphones, which is very annoying. So there's a thing where, and if anyone knows how to fix this, let me know. We usually record on OBS, and in OBS it doesn't do real-time audio. It's not a PC, it's a Mac. I know you're gonna say there's a software thing for it, but it's just enough lag where it feels like your audio is jamming your voice. So I am Philip, and it's just bad. So if anyone knows how to fix that, let me know. Yeah, I would love that. So anyways, we were all the way through our first story, got to the end of the first story, and realized that we hadn't actually been recording audio. We had just been recording video. So we are resetting, and we're gonna do it again from the ground up. But it's okay. It's gonna be fine. I'm okay with it because the first story that we read was. It was intense, not gonna lie, and an intensity that I'm kind of glad that we're gonna read a different story instead. Maybe if there's enough we want to know what the story is, we'll do a behind the scenes episode and we'll reread that story and talk about it. Yeah, it was a lot for the first episode. Was a lot. But speaking of episodes, as you know, we normally do different stories from different subreddits, but one of our primary ones is from a very popular subreddit known as Well, we're not going to say the word, but Am I the Picklefoot? Yeah, Am I the Picklefoot? And so we normally read those stories and we pick a theme and we kind of find something that works with the theme. But it is October and it is spooky season. And because it is spooky season, nothing is more terrifying than going in blind and reading stories that we have no idea of. Now, not a clue. There has to be a vetting process of some kind because we can't just go on and be like, we're going to read this random story and we're not going to talk about that on our podcast. Yeah. So we had to get some people working behind the scenes to pick stories for us. And who better to do that than our wives? What we're saying is we have not read these stories before. No. Our wives picked them for us and we're going to read them for the first time. Not live, on this live recording of whatever is happening on there. So you get to be as surprised as we are for what stories they chose. For
the first story that I'm kind of glad we're going to move forward. And
it's kind of heavy.
Start with a different one. So, but before we get into our first story,
absolutely,
in our new studio, we need to start the episode now.
Yep. Let's go with the first story.
All right. So, first story from my wife, which I understand why she did this.
Cool.
Am I the Picklefoot for crusading against my husband's garlic obsession, ruining our home and my sleep?
No. You're not the Picklefoot. Easy. All right. Tell me his crimes.
I don't know, but we're gonna find out. I have always been hypersensitive to smells. I'm neurodivergent and I can't abide bad ones at all. I've been with my husband almost 7 years and he smells great 99% of the time. But he has this garlic fixation. That's a sentence. I just want that to, that's a sentence right there. He has this garlic fixation. That could be a sticker. I like garlic too. I cook with it regularly and use a few cloves per meal. But now and then he'll go through a phase where he marinates and cooks meat, usually 2 pork chops with 6 to 8 cloves, and sometimes eats it whole, raw, or barely cooked. He's from a culture that uses garlic, but this isn't cultural cooking. It's just extreme garlic meat. This causes a few problems. Firstly, I'm a vegetarian. I don't mind him eating meat, but these meals are so intense, I end up eating something basic, like a sandwich. So he gets full garlic exposure, and I don't, which makes the smell even worse. The smell is awful. It clings to the air, clothes, and furniture. The kitchen stinks for 72 hours. He smells like a sour garlic cloud until he showers, which he often delays. Okay, see, that's gross right there. You can end the story there.
I think grody. You could end it when she's like, I have a very sensitive nose and he loves garlic. That's a terrible combination.
Yeah. I struggle to sleep because I breathe through my nose, and I can't use room spray because he says it irritates him and does this fake cough. He also won't let me open a window. So I'm stuck in a hot, garlic reeking room trying to keep my nose under the covers while he tries to cuddle with me. Last night, I told him he had garlic breath. He ignored it and got upset when I moved to the edge of the bed. I barely slept. He complained when I got up at 7 a.m. I left him in the bed, closed the door, but now the corridor stinks. I had clean clothes out, and they now needed rewashing because they reek. We've talked about this many times. He's reduced how often he makes it, but he still does. I've explained how it disrupts my sleep and how I worry I'll smell at work. I teach teenagers. I bought him some strong mouthwash. He barely uses it and it doesn't help. When we lived in shared housing, his garlic cooking got so bad, housemates on other floors started to complain. He must know.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. He must know how intense it is, but he just doesn't care. He insists it's healthy, which I'm sure it is, but does it need to be this much? He could also use less or cook meals we can both eat. I compromise for him all the time. I don't feel that that's being returned. The only time he seems to care is if I say the smell got into the car, then he'll ventilate it. But he won't de-garlic himself or our shared space. We're moving to a place with a second bedroom, and I've decided I'll tell him he'll need to sleep there if he keeps doing this. He's already said he's excited to cook with the window open, which I know is code for garlic meat, and it fills me with dread. I'm tired, embarrassed, overwhelmed, and everything I own smells horrible. Am I being petty? As much as this affects me, I feel silly getting so upset over a meal. I also wonder if I'm just not used to strong cooking smells as a white person. Is this more normal in other households? That's the end of the story.
As far as the picklefoot, no, she's not the picklefoot. I'm just going to say that. I understand. I am sorry. For those who are going through this in their own personal lives, my condolences out to you, to your family, to those who have to deal with your partner, because I understand that could be really tough. I'll bring up my wife also has a very sensitive nose, to the point that one of the locations that we were looking into way back when we first were getting married was... It was a nice location, but we walked in and it previously had smokers.
Oh, no.
You could smell it, and they said they were going to clean it up and make it smell better. And even it got a little bit better, but it still stank. So one of the big things that we realized early on is that if we're living anywhere, it has to smell good.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the big things. And so while some people will go, oh, it's garlic, get over it. I'm like, no, honestly, if she's very sensitive to that scent and she's very irritable about it, it's okay. That's just her. He should understand that. He should respect that. Now, they do need to have communication. So we always say on this podcast, communication is important. But it seems like she's putting in the effort to try to help him smell better, and he's just not. So I'd say on him, he's the picklefoot in the situation. I understand, dude. Garlic tastes great, but also you're torturing your wife.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm not okay with. Is it's like she has communicated with him, consistently, and it's like maybe you need to recognize that you need to stop doing that, and just you've got to be more receptive to what your partner is asking for.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't feel like I have a lot to comment. I feel like you kind of really hit everything on the head. I think it's just one of those situations where it's just becoming a problem with them. It's like she has made it very clear. She set a boundary. I feel a very respectful one. She hasn't said stop. She has just asked him, it's like, hey, can you do these things afterwards? And it's the fact of things like he's delaying showering. He's not using the mouthwash. It's like, okay, so on top of that, you have poor hygiene, which is also going to couple that.
Well, I'll go back to what she said before. She said he smells good 99% of the time.
I doubt that if he delays showering.
Well, I think he delays showering after he cooks these things.
Okay.
And he delays using mouthwash or doesn't use mouthwash after he eats the full clove of garlic. Because it sounds like, other than this situation, he's fine. Like, he's okay. What I don't like is the fact that he's being disrespectful about this very specific instance. That's where I'm like, he is the picklefoot, not even the soft picklefoot. It's like, if you know that she doesn't like this, you should do everything in your power to figure it out. Now, if this is something where you're like, I have to get a clove of garlic every single day. These vampires have been coming after me since I was a child. There's no way I can go without it.
The Salvatores are coming. Get the garlic.
And you're just like, I can't explain it to my wife. I have to figure that. That's okay.
She can't know about my vampire hunting ways.
Exactly. That's on you. Again, you figure it out. Whatever you need to do to get her prepared for whatever that answer is, or to like you should have talked about before you got married.
Yeah.
But you're here now.
Well, and it must be bad. That's the thing, is it's like, because there's this part of me that's like, how bad could it be?
Garlic is bad.
Garlic can be bad, especially like so like, I'm trying to understand, is a clove of garlic like the whole thing, or is a clove just like the little like, there's the bulb of garlic, which is like when you buy garlic at the store, it all comes in that bulb where you have to peel the things off. So I was reading it at first and it sounds pretty intense, but I'm reading it again and she's like, 6 to 8 of those bulbs that you or cloves that you pull off the bulb, which I'm like, if I'm cooking something, that's not actually that much garlic.
That's fair.
It's fair. I will say, if it's like marinating in it, and he adds an additional raw garlic or barely cooked garlic to it, because when you cook garlic, it'll cook a lot of that smell out. It's similar, I think, to onions and things like that. They're on that same family where, like,
that's fair.
As you cook them, a lot of that potency goes out, but the raw garlic is where that really intense smell comes from.
You're so right. I was thinking about a bulb of garlic, not a clove of garlic. Yeah, you're correct. It's a small wedge, like a mandarin orange.
Yeah, like an orange. Yeah,
that's fair.
And so that's the thing where it's like, okay, so I do think she must have an overly sensitive nose, but if it's to the point where other housemates are also complaining, like living above and below, it could be really bad.
I think it's really bad.
It must be really bad.
I'm believing her.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We definitely want to believe the people who are telling the stories. Yeah. So it's that mentality of like, I'm sorry, but like, why? Well, I just had this conversation the other day with my wife because one of my wife's family members just recently did like allergy tests and they found out they were allergic to something. Yeah. And she's like, well, what if you found out if I was allergic to peanut butter? And I'm like, well, we're just gonna have to have a lot of EpiPens on hand because I like peanuts. And I was obviously a joke. I want to make that very clear. I take peanut allergies very seriously. I work with kids. Yeah. But I was making a joke about like Reese's and like how like you're just gonna have to figure it out because I mean I'm not stopping eating my Reese's. But in the real world, if she was allergic to peanut butter, it's nowhere near our house. Absolutely. I wouldn't take it anywhere. Yeah. If she was allergic to shrimp or like any of these things that like make her uncomfortable, gone. I wouldn't do it. Like I would make that change. And so if this is something that she's been clear about, of like, hey, I need you to not be doing this as much, and he just says whatever, I'm going to do what I want to do, it's like, it's kind of rude.
It's kind of rude. But we have comments on this one?
We do.
Let's see.
Someone asked for info. OP did respond to this one, so that's great. I've cooked with way more garlic than what you're saying your husband uses, like easily a head at a time, which is like, a head of garlic. That's the other thing that I like, they call it. Yeah. And I've never had the smell lingering for that long. Do you guys not have proper ventilation? And it makes everything you own smell horrible. I get the garlic breath totally, but it's the other stuff I'm more confused about. Mm-hmm. I think he should be respectful of your boundaries if you ask him to cook less, especially if it's always meat and you're a vegetarian. But I also don't think that 6 to 8 cloves of garlic for 2 pork chops is unreasonable. There has to be some kind of middle ground here. In the meantime, I suggest an aromatherapy roller for right under your nose or on your top lip, which I didn't even know was a thing. OP responded, we live in a smaller apartment on the ground floor. It has some issues, mainly that the kitchen hood doesn't really function. The kitchen door doesn't close properly, and it opens onto the corridor that immediately connects to the living room and the bedroom, meaning kitchen smells travel fast. We do have a big and small window in there, but he doesn't open the big window as he complains the neighbor's cigarette smoke will come in.
So there's a lot of smells that are happening out here. Cigarettes, garlic, communication not happening.
I don't think there's any pickle feet here. I just think it's one of those situations where it's like because I don't think he's necessarily, other than like she's asked him to do things, simple fixes, and she doesn't, which is just like jerk behavior. Well, yeah, we're not here at Picklefoot, but we're still like, you're not, you could do better, bro. Like,
well, yeah, but she is trying to communicate to him.
Yeah,
she has even given him mouthwash. She has. It's not like she's like never cook with this stuff, but she's never do these things.
She's moving in the point of like, you're gonna sleep in the other room.
Yeah, then it's like if he's not doing the things or even putting forth an effort towards it. Yeah, then it's like okay, well, I get once again, it's like. This whole garlic thing sounds like a bigger issue has come up through it.
Yeah.
If he's not fully listening to her about these kinds of things and understanding what her sensitivities are, then it's like, okay, cool. What else is he ignoring?
Yeah.
If she doesn't like him, leaving his shoes on the side of the counter or something like that, and he does that anyways, it's like, okay, this is probably just one of the many things that's going
fair.
on here.
That's fair. Yeah, I'll stand by not the Picklefoot. I see him being more of a Picklefoot in that regard. Again, I feel like it's one of those situations that if he put some effort in, he could fix it. But also, it's like one of those things that sometimes it's like, men, and I'm looking at the camera, men, we need to do better on. Come on,
guys,
pick up the slack.
So yeah, I'd say she's not the Picklefoot.
Not the Picklefoot, no.
And he can be not the Picklefoot too if he puts a
little bit of effort in. Yeah. So that's the end of that story. Not too bad. Not too bad. Much better than that original first story you read, which was intense.
All right. Are you ready for my
Let's do it.
episode here?
Let's do it.
So here is my story. The title is, Am I the Picklefoot for making our guest participate in our puppet-themed wedding?
This is such a your wife story. Yes, exactly. I love this.
Just a reminder, I did not choose this story.
This is amazing. I'm
so
excited.
My wonderful wife, who I love dearly, chose this story.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. My fiance, 26 female, and I, 27 male, met at a college.
At a college?
It says college. I think they just replaced the name of it with college.
Yeah, all right.
We were in our school's performing arts program and met in a puppetry class. In the class, we designed our own puppets. Mine named Hat Boy and my fiance's Daisy. She's better with names. Were what we initially used to talk to each other and flirt in class.
That's the worst part of us doing this is having to edit in our brains on the fly.
Yeah,
it's
just
some of the grammar here. I don't know if you people knew this, but people on Reddit do not have necessarily the best grammar, and sometimes you're just
not.
Anyways, I'm sorry, I didn't cut off your story. Continue.
We fell in love, and in a way, we've considered Hat Boy and Daisy in love as well.
Aww.
Years after graduating, we still use Hat Boy and Daisy, both at home and at our local, but fairly prominent, theater where we perform puppet shows with high-end Muppet-style puppets. That's really cool.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
While planning our wedding, we realized we wanted Hat Boy and Daisy to be a part of the ceremony. They've been a part of us since the beginning, and it just felt right. We also invited our entire troupe of puppeteers from the theater and got the idea that we should have our wedding completely officiated by puppets, and that our wedding parties would be made up of puppets and our closest puppeteer friends. We figure it'll make for incredible pictures.
Oh, that's true. Oh, goodness. Okay.
Here's where we aren't sure if we're the pickle feet or not. We're insisting that all of our guests also participate and use puppets. In lieu of gifts, we've asked everyone to purchase high quality, but not nearly the quality of professional puppets to use during our wedding. We took the guesswork out of it and directed them to several vendors, some of who offer really cool options. Everyone could realistically expect to spend $150 to $500, depending on what sort of details and whatnot they wanted.
That's a lot of money.
We also want everyone to wear their puppets during the entire wedding and reception. All puppets we're suggesting can be mounted on and controlled with one hand. The puppets are meant to be guests at the wedding in the same way all of our human guests are as well. Well, let's just say there are a lot of people not happy. Both of our parents, my wife's sister, and family members on both sides have complained that this is completely unreasonable. They're concerned about how are they going to eat and drink? How are they going to dance? You don't need hands to dance, so I don't know where this complaint came from. We, of course, don't expect people to have their puppet on their hand while in the bathroom, but everywhere else, we'd really like to insist on it. We also made sure that our hors d'oeuvres are all finger foods. There will be plenty of cocktail tables so people can put down their drinks. We even made sure that all of the food for the dinner itself is portioned so that it can be eaten in bite sizes just with a fork without having to use a knife. We really think this will make for a special day. We only get to do it once. Just like, what's her name? Ariana Grande said, I only want to do it once real bad. Make this one last.
I'm face palming so hard. I'm sorry.
And think that it will be an event that all of our guests will remember for a lifetime. We have had a hard time believing that once there, they wouldn't have a blast. So Reddit, or the sages in this case, are we the pickle feet for making what we think is a silly but harmless and reasonable request for our one special day? Thanks for reading.
$150 is not harmless. I just want to say that right off the bat.
It's just $150.
To $500. Okay, I'm so sorry. I loved it up until the point where the guests had to participate. I was even on board for the, like, it's our puppeteer friends that are in the thing. They're going to be part of the wedding. And it's part of, like, I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
A little unique. Mm-hmm. But we had lightsabers at my wedding, so I can't say anything.
You did.
I had a T-Rex at my wedding, that was...
You had a T-Rex?
That was awesome. I had a T-Rex.
And lightsabers.
Lightsabers and the Death Star, and it was a very nerdy wedding.
There was an R2-D2 somewhere.
There was an R2-D2. There was a land cruiser that one of the ring boys came in. It was awesome. Anyways, so I'm all about unique, special weddings and things that even if you're like your main guests aren't going to be a fan of, I'm okay with that. The problem happens when you extend it to the guests and force them to participate. In my opinion, to the extent of 150,000, 50,000 feels like 150,000. But like that is not cheap. I know that some people spend that much easily on a gift, but there are people, like, I'll be honest, is like up until recently, I have not been in a position where I could afford more than $50 to $100 on a wedding gift, and that would be coming from me and my wife. $150 for both of us for a puppet that neither one of us are puppeteers, for us to have to keep this puppet around for the entire wedding. It's wild. Like, I love what you're trying to do, but what you need to do then is have everyone as what they should have done. This is my opinion.
Okay.
What they should have done is the wedding favor should have been a little finger puppet that like is like a male or female or a male, female, non-binary, however you want to do it, finger puppet. And then they can participate in the wedding from the finger puppet and then put the finger puppet away. Like, that would have been the way to do it, in my opinion. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay. I so many thoughts.
How can you not? This story is wild.
So many thoughts.
I love it so much. Oh my God.
First of all, to my wife, how dare you?
No, thank you. This is a fantastic story. This is great.
Second of all, so many. I'm just gonna go in the line of what I was thinking.
Oh gosh.
So you're saying it's expensive, $150 to $500. I'm gonna throw a wrench in the idea. I agree with you. This is crazy. That said, destination weddings, right?
Oh gosh.
You're asking people to fly out to these beautiful locations, like going over to Jamaica or Hawaii and do stuff like that. The tickets cost a lot. Yeah. Let's say if you're flying to Hawaii, you're going to spend $1,000 almost per ticket for each person who's going out there.
But the argument for that is that, like, it's a vacation for the person who's buying it on top of it. So, like, a lot of people will make a destination vacation or a destination wedding also a vacation for them.
That's fair.
So,
but my thing is, like, the concept of the destination wedding is that you are flying somewhere to see two people that you love dearly get married. That's the core of it. So instead of flying somewhere to see them, instead you are buying an expensive puppet to join the... What I think is the most difficult, and this is the second part that I wanted, or I guess third part, because the first one was like my wife. What was this? It is the puppets. It's weird. This is so strange. I'm sorry, like, to you.
I love puppetry. I think it's amazing.
It feels like one of those niche, like, cultures that I shouldn't necessarily, like, talk too much about. If you're a puppeteer and you're like, this sounds like a wonderful idea.
It's like people who are like intense improv, like comedians.
I mean, imagine you had that as a wedding too. Like, it's like everyone has to like be on the bit. So like. I get it. Like, I get it. If this is your life, you guys are puppeteers. Like, if it would be weird if you're just like, no, we're just normal people, and I just want to have a puppet wedding. Like, that's very strange. But like, you're puppeteers, and you want everyone to be. So I guess I'll go beyond that. Like, if I was, I don't know, if I was a pilot, and you're like, I want everyone to fly into my wedding in an airplane. I want everyone to pilot their plane. Well, I guess you probably have a lot of pilot friends. So I don't know. I think my idea, I don't think they're the pickle fleet for having a wedding like this.
No, the wedding itself, in terms of like what they're wanting for the wedding, I think is fair.
Yes. I think forcing everyone to have their puppet the entire time.
Yes.
For their very niche wedding thing. Is interesting. I almost feel like you should have a party after the wedding for puppets.
Should be the rehearsal dinner.
Oh yeah,
that's what this should be. That's what I was thinking of. Like, as we're talking, like, that's a good idea. That should be the rehearsal dinner, and the main event of the rehearsal dinner should have been Hat Boy and Daisy getting married.
That's fair.
And that would have been so cute.
Have a separate one
and
for
like,
them.
Like something fun like that. Like, that's where I'm talking about. Of like. It's the it's like when you try and have a wedding that is too, like, has to be perfect. Everything has to be in sync. It's like if you went to one where the person was like, you are only going to move at this point in time. You can only go to the bathroom at this point in time. You have to do these things. You're all going to line dance. It's a lot of like that, forcing your expectations on your wedding guests, or like who, yes, are coming to your wedding, and it should look like how you want it to look like and be how you want it to be. But if you're forcing it past that, where you're forcing audience participation, you're forcing your guests to have to do something that is literally going to take up one of their hands. What if you have a guest that, like for me, I had a lot of elderly members at my wedding who needed like walkers or things like that. Like, how are they supposed to do it? Or I have sibling in a wheelchair. How are they supposed to be able to easily move around with a puppet on one hand? Like, yes, they could figure it out, but that's a lot to put on someone.
Yeah.
And also $150. Sorry, it's like, I don't like when people just throw out $150 casually. It is 2025. It is $150 is needed for groceries, because groceries are expensive and gas is expensive.
Yeah.
So all that to be said, soft pickle foot. That's where I'm standing with it. I think I think what you want to do for your wedding is beautiful. I think it's so much fun.
I agree.
But forcing it upon your guests is where I draw the line. I think it's too much.
I'm going to read you some comments over here, but I agree with you. I think they are soft pickle feet.
Yeah.
I think they have good intentions, and I think the reason why they're doing this is good.
But you know what they say about the road to hell? Sorry.
I think, they're soft pickle feet.
Yeah.
It's just like, because what you said, think about others that are there that might not be able to do that or might be uncomfortable with puppets.
Simple, but it takes a lot and it requires a lot. Yes.
It is, okay. This came into my mind. I was like, this is because I was trying to think about a comparison that could happen to there that was weird. I was like, maybe walking like on a rope bridge to your wedding. No. D&D. So we play D&D. You probably know that from our previous episodes and stuff like that. But in D&D, when we started playing, my wife was not as comfortable with improv. Mm-hmm. It's okay. It's like, unless you really grew up in a place where you're just doing these things or you're really into that kind of culture, you probably don't know how to kind of just like riff off and play a character or do something like that.
It's a talent. It's a skill.
And so it would be very uncomfortable if we walked in, and I appreciate you for being so open about that, where you're like, hey, no one's going to make fun of you. No one's going to like say that you're doing this wrong or something like that. We're just all here having fun. You allowed them to kind of like get more comfortable with their characters and get more comfortable with what they're saying to go into that.
Yeah.
Versus if you did go in and we showed up and you're like, okay, so you walk into the cabin and then you start going, well, sir, what's going on here? How are you doing? And she's like, well, I just want to walk up. No. In character.
Don't forget. Now that for a whole wedding, everyone in the wedding has to do that.
Everyone has to. It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's like uncomfortable for them because they're not comfy with it, but then also probably uncomfortable for you because now your guests are like, oh my gosh, please don't talk to me like with that weird voice. And you're like, no, you're supposed to do this.
Well, I did because I did like a murder mystery dinner one time for my brother's birthday. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah. But we all were supposed to play characters, and like they were all supposed to be from different countries, so we all had terrible accents.
Yeah.
And of course, my dad got the American accent, so he didn't actually have to do an accent. But that being said, it's like I went into that knowing that was the expectation.
Yeah.
You go into that knowing those expectations. Going to a wedding where you're like, and to be clear, they were up front with people like, this is what we want. But I still stand by the fact of like, and then what is this person going to do with this $150 puppet? And if it's like me and my wife, we'd have two, then that's what a wedding, like again, a finger puppet or even a sock puppet.
Andrew,
I'm serious.
No, it's not the high enough quality of this wedding. Okay, these are reasonably priced. Andrew, these are reasonably priced, $150 to $500 puppets. Reasonably priced. Okay,
I can't. It's wild. I'm sorry. I can't. I cannot.
Okay, comments. Let's do this.
Go ahead. No, it's fun.
I love these comments. They said, "You're the Picklefoot. You're not like bad people, but like, wow." I never want to associate with y'all ever again. I'm exhausted and infuriated reading this.
Exhausted, that's the word. I was literally just like, oh gosh, no.
Your quirky nonsense is going to keep people away. And here's the second one. They said, oh my goodness, about it will only cost up to $500, even $150.
Yeah,
if I were to go to a wedding with puppets as a wedding party and officiant, I would find it really cringe. But okay, groom and bride choice, but having me spend $150 minimum on a puppet for your wedding?
Yup.
No. Sure, everyone who comes will remember this wedding for a long time.
Not for the right reasons.
Definitely not in a good way.
Not for the right reasons.
I wish I had never come. Yeah. You're the pickle feet. Yeah. Basically, everyone's like, what is wrong with you guys?
Yeah, I love it. As I said, it's like, it's one of those things that like, it's beautiful. That's what connected you all. And I love that for you. Do your thing for your wedding, for your people.
That's fair.
But... don't force people to be into your thing that aren't into your thing.
That's fair. All right. So that's my story.
I've got one more. This one's a little bit shorter, so we're good. And interestingly enough, it's wedding themed.
So is this episode wedding themed?
I mean,
can you come up with a title for this episode that's wedding themed really quick?
No, I mean, I mean,
you could do it. I believe in you.
The Unsheltered Wives and Wacky Weddings.
Ooh.
Thank you. All right. But I already have a title for this one. So
see, he's so good at this. I was so frustrated before when I was trying to come up with like titles because I'm just like dogs, homework, jobs, and he's like theme parks and thunderstorms, and he's like.
Yes. I was really mad that for our music episode I didn't have something with the Han Moon, because homeschoolers sealing the Han Moon would have been perfect. I actually might go back and change the title.
Please do.
I might go do that. So if you see that, it's because I went back and changed it.
Also, if you see a very like boring title, it's probably just because I did it.
Stop.
No, it's true. Good. I'm not good at titles. I've never been good at titles.
It's all good.
All right, go ahead with your story.
Am I the picklefoot for uninviting my sister-in-law from my wedding after she leaked my pregnancy?
I'm so confused.
Am I the picklefoot for uninviting my sister-in-law from my wedding after she leaked my pregnancy?
I mean, I think that's a bit much, but let's hear it.
Yeah, let's hear it out. I, 26 female and 10 weeks pregnant. My partner, 28 male, and I told our immediate families early, but made it very clear. She puts very in all caps. We weren't telling anyone else until after the first trimester. Last night, my fiance's sister, 29 female, posted a story on Instagram. It was a get ready with me for a family dinner we had last weekend. She then casually, indirectly talks about becoming an auntie. She tagged me and my fiance. I saw it when I got a notification that I was tagged. I had over 50 messages from distant friends and coworkers before I could even process it. We hadn't even told our friends yet. I was totally mad. Called her screaming. She tried to say it was an accident and that she forgot and she was teasing, and she was just teasing. So I hate that excuse. I hate the, oh, it was an accident and oh, I'm over. Okay, if you accidentally run over someone with your car, is the police going to accept that as a, oh, well, you're fine then? Yes. No, they won't. Yes, you might get a reduced sentence if it was legitimately an accident, but you're still going to be responsible for the fact that you ended someone's life with a car.
That's true.
Like, so I use this for kids all the time when because I work at a taekwondo school, and so kids accidentally hit each other all the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it was an accident. Let me be kind. Oh, it was an accident. Okay. But it still happened.
Yeah.
So you're responsible because your hand collided with his tummy. So it's still your hand that did it. You pressed record, ma'am, on your phone and then decided to tell the world that you're an auntie and then tagged the sister, the fiance and sister, or the sister-in-law and brother. That was intentional. You can't say that was accidental.
No, it's all accidental.
Accidentally
I just sat on my phone and
it
just
accidentally perfectly tagged these two people.
Yeah.
Sorry. There's more to the story, but that
joke.
That peeves me every time I see it. I told her she was uninvited from our wedding. She cried. My future in-laws are furious, saying I'm overreacting and ruining the family over a silly social media post. They say I should just be happy, or that I should just be happy people are excited. My fiance is on my side. So, is she the picklefoot?
No. I'm hesitant to say no, not because I don't think that she shouldn't be mad. So first, two parts of this. First, she has absolute every right to be mad. I know for a lot of people, their whole the pregnancy and stuff like that is a very complicated and a big moment. Some people don't want to talk about their pregnancy for a bit. It's because, their complications can happen with it and stuff like that. So you want to keep it quiet.
Yeah, a lot of people I know have been very intentional about, especially people who are concerned of loss or maybe have had loss in the past, that it's usually something that can stay very close to the chest.
Yeah.
So I completely agree.
Yeah. So that part, I'm like, yes, she is absolutely valid to be upset that not only did she tell people about the pregnancy, she put it online and was talking about it. I guess it's 3 parts. Second part to this is for the sister who talked about these things. I think it's unfortunate. I'm happy that she's excited about being an auntie. That's fantastic. Like, that's what you want.
Sister-in-law.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
sister-in-law. Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy. Because, it could go the other way where she's like, oh, I don't like her and we don't want all these things. So I'm happy that she wanted to do not the greatest way to do it. And then maybe she just didn't think and was just like, oh, I'm just going to talk about it because it happens. I'm sorry it happened in this way and it's not great. Third part, though, uninviting her to the wedding.
Yeah.
I would say that it is a kind of the punishment doesn't fit the crime in this case. You told everybody about the pregnancy, right? Mm-hmm. Which is something that you were going to, I hope, tell them eventually anyways. Yeah. She jumped the gun on it. She was telling everybody what was going on before you were ready and not in the way that you really wanted it to come out. That said, you could say she was just overly excited or she did something that was different. I don't like how the sister-in-law reacted to it. That's very immature, not great, but technically she can't really go back now. You can't take that back. Even if she apologizes, it's okay, there's not much you can do there.
But let's talk about that apology. Okay. As I said, I cannot stand when it was an accident. I don't like doing the
she said it was a
voice.
Joke, was it?
Well, she said, and I quote, she tried to say it was an accident and that she forgot and then she was just teasing.
Oh,
no,
just own it. You did something wrong.
Recognize that you messed up. I recognize what you're saying about completely removing her from the wedding might be a drastic choice.
Yeah.
Maybe if she was part of the wedding party, removing her from that and just letting her go. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it is your choice. And we don't know if there's any other trauma that's wrapped up in this. We don't know if there's anything else. I would imagine that if they're waiting to tell people, there is a high likelihood that there is some other trauma that has been that is wrapped up in this. Sure. And I know we don't have to get into all of that. Yeah. But to then take it, but I'm actually going to pivot to the comments because one of the comments and I think hits the nail on the head really well too. Not only did she go against your wishes, she also took away your joy of making that announcement yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that is so true. She did that. She made it about her in that moment.
Yeah. And so going back to the puppet story.
Yeah.
We talked about that. In the same way where when they were talking about, we want everyone to get $150 puppets, and it's well, this is what the couple who is getting married wants everyone else to do.
Yeah.
While a wedding is primarily about the two people who are getting married, if you're inviting other people to it, it's okay, it's about everyone else around. It'd be very uncomfortable if the entire family is there except for this one person. And I'd almost be I understand. If they did something absolutely terrible, you should not have to invite them. This is your choice. My thing is, if everyone else is invited except for her because of this one event, that's uncomfortable, not just for her, but it's uncomfortable for probably your partner, for the entire family. She says her partner is behind her, which is absolutely valid. But make sure this is the point you want to, because hopefully you're not going to have another wedding. Hopefully this is not it. It's but you're excluding her from a major event in your life because she leaked information about a major event in your life. And that's where I'm I would hesitate because you can't take this back.
I think then we need to sit and be this is not how we would handle it.
Yeah.
This is not how we would hope our wives would handle it.
Yeah.
But does this make her a picklefoot for doing that?
No.
And that's where I think it comes down to. I don't think she's a picklefoot for choosing that.
Yeah.
I think it is going to cause problems. I think it is going to, but at the same time, this is her wedding.
That's true.
This is her choice. And again, if the fiance is behind it and that's the choice that they are making, because again, just like with the pregnancy, we don't know the whole story. Maybe this is not the first time this sister-in-law has made major life things about her. Maybe they're also concerned she's going to do something to make the wedding about her.
Yeah.
And so maybe they're on top of all of that. They're just going to use this as a catalyst to just be like, you're just not going to be there.
It sounds like
you are drama.
Yeah.
We don't want drama at our wedding.
Yeah. It sounds like kind of what the other stories do. It's where this is not the only time that something has happened. This is just one big, the straw that broke the camel's back, basically, where like, this is just where we draw the line. You did something that we didn't really want you to do, especially if her partner is also like, nah, she's completely uninvited. I feel like this is just something that's over top everything else. And we don't know what else has happened. All we know is this one situation.
Well, and even someone else commented, it's like, not only just that, but it's also like, the 10 weeks. If something goes wrong, and hopefully OP has a pleasant and trouble-free pregnancy, and that's what we're hoping. This is 3 days ago, so we're hoping for the best. That will also be a huge list of telling a bunch of people now that they happen. And if you forget someone, it's explaining over and over again when someone texts how the pregnancy is going.
That's fair.
It's really rude when when they made it clear they weren't telling anyone before, after anyone before or after. No, they weren't telling anyone before the first trimester has passed, to just put it out there.
Yeah.
So I think we both come to the agreement, not the picklefoot, not how we would handle it, but we've had some stories like that before where it's like, that's not how I would handle the situation. But not our story and not our situation to see the full picture of. But with the information that we have, I think not the picklefoot.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say not the picklefoot. I think it's complicated whenever you get into those situations when you're dealing with individuals, whether it's your husband or your people are coming to your wedding or a person who's leaking your information, making sure that you have that communication across. I think making sure that what you're telling the guest or your partners or anyone, like, this is what I want you to do. Whether I don't want you to tell them about my pregnancy, I don't want you to tell them about this, I want you to get this. And I think once you do that properly, it is up to the other people to behave in the way that they respect your boundaries. I think this entire episode is, even though it's kind of a grab bag type thing, is about boundaries. Once you set those boundaries, whether people want to respect them or not, you need to make sure that's communicated properly. And if they don't respect your boundaries and they decide not to show up with a puppet on their hand, that's on them.
I also think maybe we shouldn't try and force our boundaries or force our expectation on people that might be unreasonable.
That is absolutely true as well.
All that being said, I think we are at the end of our episode. This was fun. This is a cool, I like that we did this story for our first one here, because it's a fun story. We were thrown a little bit for a loop. We had to re-record the entire first story, but it's a cool opportunity for us to just start something new. And I have a lot more stories from the wife. So if you all enjoyed this, if you enjoyed me and just me and Philip getting to just sit here and be like, what is
what
this?
Is going on?
Oh gosh, that puppet story, that's going to live on in infamy. I gotta make a clip of that.
We're gonna make a clip of it.
We have to make a clip of that, because that one, that's wild.
Well done, my wonderful wife.
Well done, Philip's wife. That was phenomenal.
and Andrew's wife.
Yes,
these are
my wife
really good stories.
Really good story.
She sent so many stories.
Really good.
I'm really excited about that.
My wife picked serious ones. That's what the garlic one, I guess, is not serious, but serious.
We might go back to the other one that we had before.
Yeah.
But Andrew, if they want to hear more of the stories about unserious or serious pranks, as well as other things, where should they go?
They should go and hit that little subscribe button at the bottom of the screen if you're watching on YouTube, or follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you might be podcasting. You can also follow us on social media at Facebook, at Instagram, at TikTok, a lot of other places. I'm going to try, once I schedule, it gets a little bit more reasonable, to start posting again. TikTok's it's just hard. There's a lot that goes into that, and then I'm also teaching full-time and going to school full-time and things like that, but keep in touch there. We'd love to interact with you. If you've survived to the end, please describe what you would name your puppet that you brought to a wedding. I would love to hear your puppet's name.
Let us know.
Yeah. So other than that, I don't think there's really anything else unless I missed something.
No, I think we're good.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being here. Please let us know what your puppet's name is going to be.
Yes, absolutely.
And we will see you next episode when we get into some pretty creepy stuff.
Yeah, it is the season of the witch.
But until then, see you next time.
Bye.